We were a service that developed quite early on into a 7-day service to try and support the growing team of doctors, acute care fellows and nurse practitioners that we have, certainly within medicine. So for those of you, just a brief cap, as you'll see, of the medical assistant role. So it's been sort of an American concept since around 1956. It was introduced to alleviate pressures, as the Americans call it, in doctors' offices, certainly in primary care. They were used initially for things like taking medical history, simple medical exams, and then they were brought into secondary care in sort of the late 60s. It's first seen sort of in the UK in the early 2000s and really taken off in 4 or 5 hospitals. It seems in sort of 2010 onwards. The unregistered members of the MDT here at UHS form a wide range of clinical administration tasks. All have a clinical understanding or a clinical background, so either we've got members of our team who have either studied or practiced clinically, either within nursing or medicine in foreign countries. Everyone has got a basic level of either anatomy and physiology and or physical health. The team themselves, I've now got a team of 26 members of staff. That's a variation of phlebotomists and medical assistants being 16 members of staff. Clinical tasks wise, they undertake, so as you see there's a sort of non-exhaustive list on a PowerPoint slide, urgent bloods and cannulas, things that our phlebotomists haven't been able to perform, NG tube placement, ECG recording, etc, etc. I won't read for you. And then admin tasks, so commencing our HMRs, specialist referrals, collateral history.
HMR's discharge summaries.
Sorry, electronic discharge summary. Scribing on ward rounds, blood card requesting, updating results, and mainly we find a lot of our time is spent chasing results, chasing testing, things that would otherwise mean an FY1 or an FY2 would be on the phone for endless amounts of time and not able to see patients as they are meant. We had found that there was a need for an extra member of the MDT to alleviate the time of both the ANPs, Advanced Nurse Practitioners that are coming into role, and our junior doctors. So we allocated medical assistants to super teams, so they're looking after many teams at once. So they were gastro and hepatology, for example, respiratory, general medicine. And we found that when I first started this, although it meant that we were able to give quite a wide cover of medical assistants to teams, it meant that the service we provided was less robust, not particularly well organised. So within the last sort of 8 months, we've done a lot of work looking at specific target areas. So with the use of Doctor's Worklist, the new IT system we have, which is worth its weight in gold, it's meant that man hours of searching through paperwork has been done by a few clicks of a computer, and we've managed to look at what teams do we have that are massively busy, what teams do we have that have huge amounts of work that is currently being completed by our junior doctors or our high-ranking ANPs that could be done by another member of the MDT. So our new specific target areas that we found showed that we needed to have a more robust phlebotomy service. AMU, the patient admission team, is something that we integrated this year, making sure that every patient that comes through our door receives the same admission process regardless of when they're admitted. So Monday to Sunday, 24 hours a day, we have someone downstairs with a checklist of things that are completed for every patient. So for example, a routine set of bloods, chest x-ray for anyone with a certain pathology or presentation, ensuring that HMR and collateral history is completed. So in conjunction with our doctor administrator colleagues, ensuring that all of these things are completed in a timely fashion. And out of our service was the second thing that we found needed a more robust team, so a way that handover became certainly more robust between day and night staff. So for example, during out of our service, our band 3 medical assistants joining handover every evening and then speaking to, being part of the handover process. So as soon as we highlight that a patient is particularly unwell on an ongoing treatment, so we know, for example, blood tests need to be taken at such a time, the band 3 can then be delegated those tasks, take them on upon themselves, and in communication with the nurse practitioners, FO1s, those jobs are done far more time. Initially we had some opposition with, it's not obviously a well-known model, people often coming from other trusts where it wasn't a role they were particularly used to. So on looking at stringent criteria, job descriptions, etc., and managing to publish these to our colleagues, and this is how we want to help you, this is how we can help you, and similarly what help we need back, means that, as you can see, in little over 5 years we've upped our workload sort of 3 to 4 times over. Largely thanks to Doctors Worklist, which has made our job endlessly easier. So medical assistants, one of their primary roles within the service every day is to ensure the Doctors Worklist is up to date with all the information that comes from the team. So they generally find most teams then have a meeting with their both junior and senior colleagues. They will then update information on the Doctors Worklist, ensuring that everything is up to date and showing. Also now for the pull through to Nurses Worklist, so that our nursing colleagues are also kept in the loop. One of the most recent sort of things we found we did a lot of feedback from both our medical and nursing colleagues. Nursing colleagues saw the medical assistants really as bridging the gap between the medical and nursing teams, when sometimes handover was sometimes difficult between the two. They were often very robust in giving very specific handovers at the end of medical ward rounds. And our medical colleagues similarly saw that we were somewhere to be able to buffer between often other parts of the MDT, so chasing up CT slots and or results was often something that was mentioned by most teams, and that our team were very helpful to go and look for those things.
These tasks were previously only performed by registered healthcare professionals, so nurses and doctors really. There's nothing about the care of central lines and other centrally placed peripheral lines that unregistered healthcare professionals can't undertake, provided the governance framework is right. And that's where the strong leadership from within your team has been so fantastic in driving that forward, assessing the need and then operationalising it with support from the senior clinicians. For the patients, it's of huge benefit to have somebody whom they don't see as very senior on a level where also you act as a fantastic translator between medical speak and what patients understand. And even if one thinks one speaks clearly, it's still clearly medical jargon, and you guys are fantastic in translating that into plain English.
The feedback we've had from our medical colleagues especially was really, really nice to read. It made very, very nice reading. And to see that we do make a difference, we make a positive impact in patient care is what all of us come to work for, but certainly what my team take away and keeps them going every day. So. There's a transition that you know you're going into weekend mode, but your working ethic doesn't change, the way that you work doesn't really change. So things like Doctors Worklist is my favourite thing in the hospital, which is why I harp on about it, but it just provides that continuity of that. There's nothing you pick up on Saturday and Sunday that you can't pick up Monday to Friday. Some weekend working, for me, I can't talk on behalf of UHS or the NHS, but for me, a lot of times it's easier. I've got a lot of members of staff who have children or have very busy home lives with children, kids off at uni, etc. And they're actually happier to work at the weekend because childcare arrangements are already in place with a significant other. Yeah. Therefore, they're more than happy to come and work at the weekends. I've never had any issues staffing the weekends.